Good afternoon, everybody. I pray we'll all be ready. I do. Hey, y'all. I said, it's getting real, real cold outside. I gotta stop sleeping with my window open because I wake up feeling like I'm sick. Ooh, good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey. If y'all celebrate it, happy Love Day. If you don't come in here talking crazy. Okay? Y'all hear me? Okay. Happy Love Day. We gon' cause folks be crazy. But y'all know this song? Y'all need to get this. Thank you so much. Y'all need to get this song. It's called I Pray We'll All Be Ready by Chicago Mass Choir. Happy Love Day, girl. Happy Valentine's Day. Folks be like, you're a pagan. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I need y'all to get that song. Y'all hear me? You said you didn't watch with everyone but watch the rewatch. What you talking about? Hey, y'all. Hey. Thank you. Thank you. I said y'all dressing up and I got a Valentine. You just can't see him. But he makes sure he make all my days special. So let me I even put shoes on, y'all. I'm gonna have to stand back so y'all can see. I even put shoes on. Well, I'm gonna just show y'all the shoe. Cause ain't nobody got time for that. Y'all wanna see my shoe I put on today? Cause it make me feel real sparkly. Y'all done seen it before. They some of my favorites. But let me show you how this light hit off of them. You see? And my sister Aisha sent me some beautiful earrings that match my shoes perfectly. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about right here. You see the colors flipping on there. You see it. You see them. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. There it go. You see? Why do you keep doing that? You don't want me to. You see it? So at nighttime, when the street lights hit these, this what they do. You see the you see the you see them. These is some of my favorite shoes, y'all. Y'all see it? Y'all see how the light be it be hitting them on there like that at nighttime, and it sparkle just like that at nighttime too. It make me real happy. I said, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong. You hear me? Especially after what we about to read. If you don't feel like a princess after this, I don't know what to tell you. You hear me? You hear what I'm saying to you? If and men, if you said I wish they cute, all of my ankles would be girl, walk around in the house. You gotta practice on carpet first. And it's all posture, you know that, right? The straighter you stand up, the easier it is. Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. And do it in the house. It's a good workout for your core too. I used to clean up in heels, vacuum and everything. I did. I did used to do that. I did, but it's a great workout. So if you want to work on your midsection, vacuum and heels. It'll do it every time. Promise. So anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, yeah. Because you have to stand up, and so then you have to mainly be on your tippy toes, which is making all the muscles in the back of your legs. Hey, Pumpkin. I'm a Thundercat now. Hey, happy birthday, Pumpkin is. Wait a minute, let me get the sword for you, girl. You said what? You said you a Thundercat now. You finally made it? Okay, it is. You said what? Auntie gonna put it on in the air for you. You said put one in the air for you. You said Thundercats. Oh, that's what you said. Is you here? You go, Pumpkin. Let me reward you with your sword. Here you go. You're not no longer a Thunder Kitten. You a Thundercat now. Is gonna grab your sword. Here we go. We lighten it up for you. Is y'all Niecy Pooh is 35. She said, I am no longer a Thunder Kitten. I'm a Thundercat. Don't play with me. See, when you hit about 35, it's stuff you couldn't say when you was under 35. Now you can say it. And when you get to 40, you really get to say it. So 5 more years, pumpkin. 5 more years. Listen, you said is, yeah, 35 you get to say stuff you didn't get to say at 21. People be like, I'm going to respect her because you a auntie now. 35 is auntie status. Yeah. You is an auntie now. You still going to be my niecey poo, but you in auntie status now, girl. Yeah. Is y'all gonna go eat some good food today, hopefully, or make some, because it's crazy out right now. Yes, she's awarded her Thundercats award. Any woman under 35 is a Thunder Kitten. You hear me? You a Thunder Kitten under 35. Now, after 35, you a Thundercat. Don't worry about it. Hey, Pumpkin. Hey. So, in honor of it being Love Day, and we know that the pagan folks still 4 years ago from me, oh yeah, you're still a Thunder Kitten, Pumpkin. It's okay, ain't nothing wrong with a Thunder Kitten either. I'll take the Thunder Kitten. I'm trying to tell you, ain't nothing wrong with being a Thunder Kitten. See, a Thunder Cat just means you got a little bit of experience on you done lived through some things. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with being a Thunder Kitten. You can be a Thunder Kitten and a Thunder Cat. It's something you can't be a Thunder Cat till after you over 35. But once you hit 35, yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You hear me? It is a wrap. So, I just turned 30 in September. So, yeah. Anything under 35. Girl, I put on them pants and that outfit you bought me today, but I'd have been in tripped and fell in here. But I do plan on wearing them. I said, oh yeah, they finally fit now. I was a little, when you seen them, I had to lose a couple pounds. But now they fit perfectly, so I will be wearing those this summer. The spring is coming, and I can put a cute sweater on with them and put some boots on or whatever. So, in the summer, put a cute shirt on. So I will be wearing those. I had them on today. I said, yeah, this ain't the move for today, though. This ain't it. This is not the one. Not for right now, anyway. So thank you for that, because I put that on today. I wanted to wear some green. I was like, oh my God, that shirt. I looked for it for like 10 minutes too. It was folded in between and it's so thin that I didn't see it. I had to get my flashlight because my light went out in my closet and I still ain't called maintenance to come put one in. Moving on. I've been using my survival light. Well, at least I know it worked for a long time once you charge it. You hear me? So if you have Josephus, that's where we're gonna be. If you don't worry about it. Okay, you can always go back and read it later or whatever it is. So y'all ready? We'll wait another 10 minutes or so, probably like 10. Huh? Y'all ready? I want to say something else too. I saw this on TikTok yesterday, and it was very interesting to me because we talked about it a lot here at WOIU. Did y'all see that all of the upgrades on the terms and conditions of all of our apps are now saying they can track everything you do and have access to all your information? It's not just the Apple updates. Your bank account, it's all of these things that are saying we can invade your privacy in every area of your life. Did y'all see that? That's why we've been getting all these updates to terms. And I was wondering, because I'm like, I had some others. I'm like, what the heck? Did y'all see that? So all your apps, you need to check and see what they tracking and all of that, because they about to be able to track you however they want to, whenever they feel like it. Well, they already doing it, but now it'll be pretty much every app. So even if you only just have one app, not only will your phone be tracking you, but your app will as well. Also, Google is on some weird stuff, which is crazy, but I knew that because they've been playing with me since we got on the internet, which is real crazy. Klarna had the nerve to ask for my social to give me cash back rewards. See? Yep, I know PayPal and a couple other ones. I said, this crazy. Y'all, they didn't lost their minds. They didn't lost their minds. For real. They didn't went crazy. All jokes aside. I said, yeah. And now I see why we was, it dang near ain't even gonna be smart to have a phone on you here in a minute, which is so crazy that we even gotta even think like that, but it is what it is. Yeah. But interesting enough, when I was in my space, y'all know where that is. I read one thing, but then this came to mind, so I figured we'll read this story. Yes, it is in the KJV, but sometimes you get a different view when you don't read it in the KJV. So once we hit about 15 minutes, we'll start. If you are where your books are, I need you to grab Josephus. If you are not where your books are, just gets to be a story day for you. Y'all hear me? So if you're not where your books are, if you're driving, if you're working, if you are doing laundry, cooking, whatever else, it's okay. I just need you to listen and, of course, pay attention. But, whatever, participate, excuse me. But if you don't have your book, it's okay. Because we're going to be reading and moving all over. And I know some people don't have their books with them. Y'all all right with that? Yeah. Good afternoon. Auntie, I'm frustrated. I'm still learning how to study. It doesn't, but why are you frustrated? Just read it instead. You stressing yourself out. Not today. You stressing yourself out. Period. You stressing yourself out. Yeah, and you're not about to stress me out. Because you should know. I'm not even giving no energy to that, girl. You stressing yourself out for absolutely no reason. Don't do that to yourself. No. It's a good, happy day. Why is girl? Y'all starting to scare me. I told y'all about these woe was me people now. What y'all gonna do when the real trouble come? We about to read about it. All you need to do, baby girl, listen to me. The only reason you feel like you, and I can't say you, but whose pace is you trying to keep up with? The only way I see frustration coming into that is if you're trying to keep up with somebody else, because there it is. You're not being, how you being left behind and you can go in everybody is at their own space. Everybody is at their own level. There is no level to be held up to. None of that, baby. What your learning experience right now is personal between you and God, and it goes at the speed that He wants it to go, at nobody else's. Auntie did not learn all the stuff that she learned in 1 year and 2 years. Decades, pumpkin. You in the beginning. You ain't in no race with nobody. He wants you to get it. It ain't about how much you learned and how quickly. I'm not fussing at you. I'm telling you in love. Baby, you're not in competition with nobody to learn nothing. You just learn what God wants you to learn, and that's it. He'll bring it back around. It ain't going nowhere. Don't let the devil get you frustrated on something that is not a big deal. Don't do that to yourself. But y'all better quit woe is me and now. Auntie can't do it. Because if we stuck in the hole and y'all get to doing that, I'm standing on your shoulders. Hey, Jamila. Hey, everybody. Do you hear me? If y'all get to doing that when we in the caves, I'm standing on your shoulders. I'm gonna say, come here, let me do something real quick. And I'm getting out. I'm telling you right now, I am. You don't want your hair, do you? Because you think you're gonna be here a long time. Can I use it? Because I'm about to make me a rope. You ain't gonna need these clothes. I mean, you can keep whatever's gonna keep you warm. Just let me get the rest of that. Nigga, I'm making me a rope and getting out of here. Look, I mean, if it's over for you and this where you gonna be, you ain't about to need this stuff. It's I love you, but I'm gonna step on you mentally. If you have already made it up in your mind that you ain't getting out of here, don't put me in that. Don't say we not getting out of here. No. Turn that W upside down. Say me not getting out of here. You. Because, nigga, I don't care if I got to claw at these dirt walls to find me a root. I'm about to get out of here. Don't come in there with no 40-inch bust down. Baby, you about to get scalped. Let me get that. I'm going to need that. I found a sharp rock. I'm about to cut this off. I'll leave you about 5 inches. You can give you a little pixie cut, but we about to use this bust down to get out of here. Well, I don't know what you going to do, but I'm about to get out. I grew up in the MacGyver age, honey.
Right on time, so sorry.
Is it important?
It's funny.
Okay.
My kid is in the bathtub. She's up the back, came and grabbed the pancake and went and got back in the bath. I grabbed the pancake and left.
She said, I'm going to need me a snack while I'm in here. I think I might be in here a little bit longer than I normally do. Hilarious.
Which one of these do you want before I let you go? These are the thumbprints. And they say, love you, cherry much.
That one?
And this one is going to be a vase, and they're going to be little flowers.
Just send me the 2 you want me to have.
Okay. I made this one. I'll send you this one.
No. I want the one with the cherries because they...
You don't want the artwork for me?
No, I don't
get to go up on the fridge?
I got enough artwork from you.
Good to know. It's weird, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
Yeah, you can put that up on your fridge. Oh, yeah, those are cute. Yeah, just send me the 2 you want me to have so I can put them in a picture book.
Okay.
I love y'all.
All right, love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Sorry, y'all. No, I don't. I got 1,000 days of your stuff. I don't need none. Sorry, y'all. Them kids make me happy. Y'all know that? Them kids make me happy, but y'all see how that's the same one that called and tried to offer me that sweater the other day. She gonna get her last in one way or another. They don't know once they have kids, it's over. Your stuff is packed away, right? Where's my grandkid? The rest of that is extra. I mean, I love seeing your face too. I want to continue to see your face, but move out the way. Where's my grandkid? Help, move over. I don't care about. I mean, I care about seeing you, but not like I care about seeing them. It's different. I'm sorry. Hey, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. So, listen, they changed my life. My kids did too. I love my kids, but them grandkids. It's a different type of love. It's a different type of love, and I'm grateful that I got a chance to see it. It's like no other. And if the world would have went long enough, it'd have been cool to be a great grandmother. You hear me? So, y'all ready? If you can get Josephus, get Josephus. If you read it online, read it online. I don't know, but it's going to be kind of like a story mixed day. Y'all all right with that? I know it ain't snowing. Excuse me. I think it is. Interesting. Learn something new every day. It's like sleet or ice or something. Sure. That's crazy. We just got snow the other day. Grrr. Hey. All right. So, I need you to go to chapter 6. Well, if you have the book of Josephus, I don't know which one yours is, but it's going to be in the Antiquities of the Jews, and it's like book 11, chapter 6. It's in the beginning, or in about the first half of the book. My page number is 357. I don't know what book y'all got. Concerning, I ain't gonna tell y'all that. We just gonna move on. Is y'all ready? Thank you so much, Pumpkin. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You hear me? Thank you. But y'all hear what I said? We're going to chapter 11. No, I can't use that because there's plenty of chapter 11s. Just go to page 357 in your book. Thank you. 11, 6, and 1. Right. But see, that's the thing. I said that, and then I looked, but it's other 11. So we just go move on. If you find it, right on. Y'all ready? Turtle. Y'all like, I am the master of disguise. I am the master of disguise. Y'all like that movie? That make me smile too. Turtle. Good job. Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Manly. It's fine. Yeah, wait. Can I tell y'all this real quick? So, you know how they got the little challenge going on social media where it's like, people be talking about, your daddy, something. No, you should meet my mom. But in reference to how they was. So, y'all nephew tells me yesterday that a lot of times if we talk, his friends are in the car, right? And he won't tell me because if I'm not FaceTiming or I don't see them or hear them, then I think it's us in the car. And he was like, yeah, Mom, everybody know how you is. I said, what that mean? He said, they know it, like you will go off. And how you be talking is rough, to me. Like you don't talk to me like, oh, baby, blah, blah, blah. You be like, nigga, is you crazy? Is you stupid or something? What is wrong with you? Now, I told you already. I said, well, yeah. He said, yeah, everybody already know. He said, but when we get off the phone, they be like, dang, like your mom, like, man. He was like, yeah, I don't know why y'all think I was playing with y'all. Like, y'all wonder why I am the way that I am and why I talk to people the way that I do. Yeah, I get it from my mama. I said, well, then you don't have to keep playing no games with people. You just move on. That's what you do. Just cut the cheese. Just cut it. Cut the fat, cut the whatever, cut the crap. You hear me? Cut the cheese, cut the crap, cut it all. Let's get down to this nitty gritty because I don't want to keep doing this crazy stuff with you. Don't. It ain't. So, makes me happy because he not talk crazy to his friends, but he let them know, like, bro, what is you doing? Like, that's weird. You about to ruin your life. You know what I mean? And to me, that's a good thing, because most friends will encourage you to ruin your life, but they're not really your friends if they do that. You hear me? They're not really your friends if they do that. People that, yeah, they need straight talk. Sure do. And I gives it to them, all of them, even the grandkids. I'm telling everybody what to do. Because I can't live with that knot in my stomach. I'm not going to do it. I refuse. So, there's that. Anyway, here we go. So, we're going to be bouncing around in here. We're not going to read all of it, but we are going to read a lot of it. I think that's better. I think I like that. Okay, y'all ready? Here we go. Oh, no, that white is better. Hold on. Let me see. All right, that's not too bad. Okay. So it says, after the death of Xerxes, the kingdom came to be transferred to his son Cyrus, whom the Greeks call Artaxerxes. When this man had obtained the government over the Persians, the whole nation of Jews with their wives and children were in danger of perishing. The occasion whereof we shall declare in a little time, for it is proper in the first place to explain somewhat relating to this king, and how he came to marry a Jewish wife, who was herself of royal family also, who is related to have saved our nation. For when Artaxerxes had taken the kingdom and had set governors, here we go now, listen to this. For when Artaxerxes had taken the kingdom, and he had set governors over the 127 provinces from India even unto Ethiopia. In the 3rd year of his reign, he made a costly feast for his friends and for the nations of Persia and their governors, such as one was proper for a king to make, when he had a mind to make a public demonstration of his riches. And this for 180 or 180 days, after which he made a feast for other nations. Hold on. This man had a party, and we read this before, but it is relevant to today. This man had a party for 180 days for all of the governors and officials from all over the world. How much do you think it cost to fund this elaborate party for 180 days? And you're fitting, that's like $6 months. You feeding everybody drinking good. You're providing them with a place to stay for 180 days. And y'all know the king giving the best feast. He ain't offering nothing but the best food. So that's like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and the other dude, Bill Gates, throwing a party not just a get-together, but an elaborate party for 6 months straight every day. That's hosting over 10,000 people for 6 months. What do you think the cost? The best wine, the best food. They got Kobe beef and filet mignon and the best prawns you'd never seen in your life with aged butter and cheese, and the finest cognacs and the finest fish the rarest fish and sushi and all of the best things. Because mind you, he ain't just gonna serve them his food. He's already done his research about what they eat, how their food, I mean, because you don't want to offend nobody. So you might have brought in a chef from every single country that you invited a dignitary from to come in and train your cooks and your chefs on how to prepare the meal, because if you only eat food that's like halal or whatever, then you're not going to serve them something they don't eat. Now you might serve it 2 tables over. Think about the seating arrangement, because people that don't eat pork don't even want to smell it. If you know that you are inviting a dignitary, right, that comes from a vegetarian-based diet and all of this, you're not going to put no big old piece of steak in their face. Because the difference between us and them back then, they learned other people's cultures. They learned their food. They learned what they drank. They learned all of that. You hear me? They learned all of it. So if I'm going to invite you to my house, if I'm inviting you to a get-together, and I know that you're allergic, then I know not to open no peanut butter or have no open shellfish nowhere around you. So the detail that had to go into serving tens of thousands of people for 6 months, six. How many sheep and rams and all of these things that this man slaughtered to feed all of these people? Do you think what he did was a sacrifice in a sense? It's costly and they ain't got to pay for nothing. So do you think he took a big hit in his finances to throw this party? It maybe could have cost him 20% of what was in his entire bank or whatever you want to call it. It might have took 20% of what his kingdom was worth to throw this party this long. Right? And only the best of the best people could show up there. Do you realize that's how God wants your life to be? When you sit down at the tables that he wants you to sit down at, it's only going to be the best of the best things there. The people that sit down at the tables that you sit down at, that they're going to be important for your life. But the thought that he takes into way before you ever even get down to sit down at the table that you're about to sit at and eat of the finest things that the king has to offer, it took him months and years probably to plan these things. You got to send letters out. You got to wait for them to respond. This ain't no 2-week thing if you know you're going to be hosting people for 6 months. Think about that. There are tables that you have been able to sit down at, and you walked out with more than what you came in with. You thought that it was your charisma. You thought that it was your intelligence. And God said, I've been planning this for you the whole time. You didn't even have to come and do nothing. I already prepared everything for you. All you got to do is show up. I've already done the research on what it is you like and what it is you don't like, what you're allergic to, what makes you sick to your stomach, what your practices are. I've already done the research. Do you realize this applies to our problems too? He knows exactly which problems to bring to make you pray. He knows exactly which problems to bring to make you fast. He knows exactly which problems to bring to grow your faith. Because he has taken the time prior to you getting to the event to understand when you get up from the table of whatever that is, that you're going to have all you need. Whatever strength you need is at the table of that problem. Whatever faith you need is at the table. Might be at the other end, but it's at the table. And if it's not at the table, it's at the buffet. You can go get it. Because it's already been provided for you. It said he don't bring you to nothing that he don't plan on taking you through. So that means when you get to the problem is at the very table. You go the answer, the anecdote, the whatever you were supposed to get, it's on the same table as the problem. But most times we focus on, we don't even want it on our table, instead of looking at, oh, okay, it's just, all I got to do is reach over here and push the problem out the way and focus on what I want to see. It's already at the table. It was already provided before the event even started. Do you think that this king started planning the dinner while the people were showing up? Do you think he started to think about the courses once they got in? No, this stuff takes preparation. It takes thought. It takes planning. Any problem that shows up, he's already taken care of it. But you can't focus on the problem because it's on your table. You got to reach around the problem and focus on who you know gonna change it. He on the table too. Excuse me. Just because it's offered to you, don't mean you have to take it. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Somebody can offer you a soda. I don't drink soda. You still gonna drink it? No. You ain't gonna take it. So why when the devil be offering us stuff, y'all act like ain't nothing else on the table? Hello? There's other options besides stressing yourself out can choose peace. You can choose joy. You can choose other things. It don't have to be that. Okay? Here we go. After which he made a feast for other nations and for their ambassadors at Shushan for 7 days. So it was 187 days that he was hosting parties. Now this feast was ordered after the manner following. He caused a tent to be pitched, which was supported by pillars of gold and silver, with curtains of linen and purple spread over them, that it might afford room for many 10,000s to sit down. The cups with which the waiters ministered were of gold and adorned with precious stones for pleasure and for sight. He also gave order to the servants that they should not force them to drink by bringing them wine continually, as is the practice of the Persians, but to permit every one of the guests to enjoy himself according to his own inclination. Moreover, he sent messengers through the country and gave order that they should have a remission of their labors and should keep a festival many days on account of his kingdom. In like manner did Vashti, the queen, gather her guests together and made them a feast in the palace. Now the king was desirous to show her, who exceeded all other women in beauty, to those that feasted with him. And he sent to command her to come to his feast. But she, out of regard of the laws of the Persians, which forbid the wives to be seen by strangers, did not go to the king. And though he oftentimes sent, y'all all watch the movie, y'all know, the eunuchs to her, she did nevertheless stay away and refused to come. Till the king was so much irritated that he brake up the entertainment and rose up and called for those 7 who had the interpretation of the laws committed to them, and accused his wife, and said that he had been affronted by her, because that when she was frequently called to him to his feast, she did not obey him once. He therefore gave order that they should inform him what could be done by the law against her. So one of them, whose name was Memucan, said that this affront was offered not to him alone, but to all the Persians, who were in danger of leading their lives very ill with their wives, if they must be thus despised by them, for that none of their wives would have any reverence for their husbands. So he said, if you let your wife disrespect you, ain't none of the people in here, their wives ain't gonna respect them. You gotta do something. You have to. You gotta do something. So we all know the story of how he got rid of her, and he had to send out and get another wife and all of this, right? We know that. So she got pushed out because she wouldn't listen. It didn't matter how beautiful she was. It didn't matter how smart she was. It did not matter how long her and the king had been together. Because she embarrassed him, she had to go. She got pushed out. And he didn't even want to do it. He looked for every way not to push her out. He had the people go get the law books to see if it was something else that he could do. If we look at this man like a king, like God in our relationship, how many times has he called for you and you didn't come? How many times has he set a table for you to be the guest of honor, and you didn't even show up? We'll call that missed opportunities. Because you thought in your mind it was going to be one way. Or every time you tried it, it didn't work out. So this one time when he called you and said, I know you don't believe me, but come on over here. I got something for you. You didn't go. And he had people in place waiting to bless you. Waiting to give you the opportunity that you've been crying for. You don't even know that it's already been provided for you. But because you didn't come when he called you, talking to myself here. Have you ever looked back at a situation that you formulated a whole thought and you formed a whole thought in your mind about how this situation was going to play out? And because of how you thought about it in your mind, you did not act, you did not move. And then when you get over that hump, you realize that if you would have done such, and not in a feeling of regret, not in a feeling of regret, but you just saw that God had already worked it out. And all you had to do was go and show up. But because you formed an opinion in your mind, or a whole scenario of how it was going to be, or how you didn't want to be viewed, or how you didn't want people feeling about you, you didn't get up and go. And then you hear after, it was some people waiting to meet you. I was calling you because, or I kept calling you because I had a blessing for you. I had something for you. And you answer the phone. Anybody? Anybody? No? You ain't missed out on no blessing because you said last time it didn't work, and so you didn't even go ahead and try? I already applied at that job. They denied me last time. What do they got to do with this time? They don't have anything to do with today. It could have been a hiring manager there that God didn't want you to work with, but he might need you to go back to the table. Something simple. You said this has happened to me thinking my ways is better. Girl. I learned the hard way. Listen. You hear me? It became a cycle for years. Okay. That's all. I'm like, maybe this is I was the only one that was going through this. God would call me, and because I was just so used to going in the way that I was going, I missed out on plenty of blessings. Opportunities and all kind of stuff, thinking that it couldn't, or God wouldn't, or whatever else. Yeah, did. Y'all. It sure is. Oh, it's on. Really? Today was the only day I did not get up and check the mail. I mean, not the mail, the weather. Because I was going to go to the box today, but probably not. Because they saying snow, but it sound like sleet. Interesting. And it's going to be raining tomorrow. Sorry, y'all. What? There is no divine mother. There's a divine father, but no divine mother. What divine mother? What are you talking about? Here we go. All right. So we're coming down to verse 197 down at the bottom on page 358. If you can come down here with me. It says, accordingly, he was persuaded to follow this advice and gave order to certain persons to choose out of the virgins that were in his kingdom those that were esteemed the most comely. So when a great number of these virgins were gathered together, there was found a damsel in Babylon, whose parents were both dead, and she was brought up with her uncle Mordecai, for that was her uncle's name. This uncle was of the tribe of Benjamin, and was one of the principal persons among the Jews. Now it proves that this damsel, whose name was Esther, was the most beautiful of all the rest, and that the grace of her countenance drew the eyes of the spectators principally upon her. She was committed to one of the eunuchs to take the care of her, and she was very and she was very exactly provided with sweet odors in great plenty, and with costly ointments, such as her body required to be anointed withal. And this was used for 6 months by the virgins, who were in number 400. Hold on. Could you imagine having a spa day for 6 months? Every single day you are just being massaged with honey and taking baths in milk, and only eating the best foods, and only getting, could you imagine for 6 months having a spa day? The whole day is not nothing but spa and skin treatment and all of that. Could you imagine for 6 straight months? And you ain't doing it by yourself. It's 400 other homegirls every single day. You're eating only the best food, getting as much sleep and peace as you need, being able to go and do beautiful walks in gardens, being pampered literally day and night for 6 months straight. It's 400 other women in here with you getting massages and hot oil treatment and nail care and pedicures. This every day you getting whatever it is to make you feel pampered. That's exactly what the could you imagine? What's the cost for that? And it's 400 of them. He didn't just do this for one. He paid. So the same time that he feasted for this 6 months, it's a spa day going on the other side of the kingdom 24 hours a day. It's like living at a resort for 6 months in Tahiti or Hawaii or Bermuda or I don't know, wherever these beautiful places, is going to a Swedish spa and staying there for 6 months in the Alps. but in a different place. Like the type of uh service they offer, but in a more, cooler place, or place that it's not cooler, but I'm sorry, warmer place, that it is, like a tropical place. Well, how would you feel for 6 months? Men, y'all too. We just gonna put everybody here, not just women. Men, if you didn't have to work for 6 months, and you got to have a spa day where it was just people taking care of you and clipping your toenails and washing your face. You get a steam, like make sure your hair cut every day, line up good, beard good, nice and soft. Morning massage, midday massage, then a hot bath. I mean, how would you feel to be pampered for 6 months straight? You said amazing, like a queen. Jamila said, I couldn't imagine. How about y'all? You would feel rejuvenation. Okay. What about y'all? You would feel loved and beautiful. I'd be different. Interesting. We got any brothers in here? Just be able to relax and take all the load off your shoulders and not have to worry? I don't know how I would handle that. Interesting. Right. That's how I said sometimes when you read it, you got to put yourself in a position to feel that and what it would be like. Because we talk about the amazing things that God has for us, and he says he has the best for us, but I don't even know if we really understand what that means. You said I would feel wonderful. Come on. You said I don't know how I'd act. Interesting. Irony, how would I? You don't know how you would feel. That part. Interesting. Interesting. You would feel like a new me. Interesting. 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 I mean, because if you think about it, God actually has better to give you than this. And he can make you feel that special every single day. Even though we might not experience it completely like this, God's love for you is even better than this. His love for you. So just think about what heaven is going to be like if a natural king that has limits thinks to pamper. Now, mind you, he wasn't just taking care of the women, because you remember who was sitting at his table every day. I'd be confused and honestly on edge a bit. I would have had to release control. Interesting. I would ask if we can extend it for 6 more months. Niecy Poo after my own heart. That, you said what now? To complete a year, laugh for real. I don't want to go back to normal life. Interesting. So when you understand that this natural king only even had a piece of what God wants to offer us, and you think about how much work and planning it went into planning and making the Garden of Eden, it feels too good to be able it feels good to be able to depend on God, especially if you've never had dependable people in your life. Right. But I'm just saying, not just depending on him, but do you think that God wants to give you the best of what he has? And do you even know, like, what his best is? Because if a king is going to make it to where You're comfortable, and I don't want you to feel forced to do anything. He said, we're not going to use our normal customs. If they don't want to drink, don't make them drink. We got all the food. They don't got to worry about nothing. I just want everybody to have a good time for 6 straight months. He took care of all of the needs of the people that he was going to host in his kingdom, right? The women and the men were taken care of. Because Vashti was throwing her own parties. You said, I think my body will go into shock to be able to relax for 6 straight months and not have to do nothing for nobody, and all you got to be is worried about being at peace. Not having to stress about what's, because the king has already taken care of it. He was taking care of multiple people in sections of people, because it's 10,000 plus men over here that he's feeding and taking care of and housing. And then he got women, probably their wives, that were with Vashti having these same banquets for 6 months. He's not just taking care of the men, but then he also has another 400 women in another space in a spa day for 6 months. That's not counting his servants he got to take care of and his, you know. You said they had to pay me to get out of there. Hilarious. Not y'all said I've become accustomed to this life. I won't go back to peasantry. You said you're not going back to peasantry. That's what I keep hearing. They would have to pay you to leave. They have to throw you out. They're going to throw you out. Pry my fingers out the door. Hilarious. Hilarious. Interesting. Interesting. I'm not going nowhere. You be Jerome for Martin. You can't shake me, girl. All right now. Here we go. Y'all are funny. Woo. So it says that, and this was used for 6 months by the virgins, who were in number 400. And when the eunuch thought the virgins had been sufficiently purified, can you tell me what toxins are released in your body when you get a full body massage? They go into your bloodstream. Let's name some of them. Not your bloodstream, your urine stream. I'm sorry. Acid is one of them that leaves your body. What else? Lactic acid, adrenaline. Interesting. Anything else? Histamines. Interesting. And what do those things do to the body? If you have too much lactic acid in your muscles, cortisol is dissolved. Dioxide. Interesting. What do those things do to the body that you are released during a massage? Endorphins are released for, well, yeah, because it feels good. Heavy metals are released. Interesting. What else? It relieves your stress. Inflammation. Oh, okay. So let's talk about this. Before he picked a wife, He wanted to make sure that she was not sick. He wanted to make sure that she was not stressed out. He wanted to make sure that her body was in the best condition that it could be in before he made her his wife. He took away all her stress. He provided what she needed to be at peace so that she could welcome him anytime he called for her. She didn't have to worry about what she was going to eat. She didn't have to worry about where she was going to sleep. She didn't have to worry about her clothing. All she had to do was prepare herself for her husband. That was it. Prior to the marriage. Hello. He wanted her to never want to leave. Come on. Come on. You said pollutants in the fat cells. Okay. Okay. How would I have loved to experience that when I married? Okay. Well, look it though. Jesus said he paid it what? He paid it what? What's the statement? Jesus paid it. He paid it all. That king footed the bill for the stress, for the craziness, so that all of that can go away. And your king has done the same thing. He said, why you didn't come to me and ask me for it? I already took care of it. I want to go get me a massage. I already took care of it. I want to eat. I already took care of it. I already took care of it. This king set up a feast and took care of everybody that was coming into his kingdom to the feast. He wanted every single person to be happy and be at ease, be comfortable, be ready to mingle and have a good time. Guess what? God did the same thing for you. You hear me, Auntie? He already paid for it so that you could be at ease. What is not worrying me? Don't fret. I'm a provider. I have all you need. The hills are mine and the cattle on the hills. What is that not the same thing? When you come into my kingdom and when you come into my place and my grace and my providence, I got you. There's nothing that you have to worry about because I've already thought about it prior to you coming to me. Prior to your marriage to me. The same way that this king didn't want his prospective brides to be stressed out and worn out so they couldn't be who they needed to be for him. That's why God is the same way God has taken care of all of our issues, and he's already provided a way for everything to be taken care of, so you can just be ready for him when he calls you. He don't need you to be stressed out so you say, no, I can't come when you call me. When he tap you on your shoulder and tell you to get up. He be trying to relieve your stress, but you won't go to the masseuse. Because anytime somebody start poking and pushing on you, you think they got a problem with you. No, he just trying to massage all that mess out. All the inflammation, all the stress, all the craziness, all the tension. So let them massage, because massages hurt. Good, real ones do. And you be sore afterwards. Mm-hmm. You do. You do. But you feel purified as well. Anytime that God has pressed you, and there are things that make it to where you be like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, wait, don't do it right there. He said, no, this is where the knot is. This is what's causing the rest of your body to hurt. So I gotta push on it. That good hurt. Come on. I gotta push on this space because the knot right here is causing pain above and below where the problem is. And now that pain then got up under your shoulder blade and it's traveling up your arm to your neck. And that tension is causing you to not be able to walk or bend or move the way that I need you to move. So now let me go on and press it out. Do you hear me? I'm sure when some of these ladies got there, they were tense because they didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know what they were signed up for. But maybe after the first week or the second week or even the first month, they started to realize, let me get comfortable here because you know what? I can get used to living like this. It was scary at first because these was peasant girls, some of them. So they probably used to not even having very much to eat. They ain't never smelled no good perfume. They ain't never been to no spa and slept in a beautiful bed with silk linen. They've never experienced that. Some was going to remain humble and grateful. And some was going to get a new attitude. Some of them was going to be even grateful to eat the king food. The same food that the king was being served. They get to eat it. They never even thought they'd see a roast duck. Drinking the best juices freshly pressed in front of your face and the best cheese and the best coffee and the best of whatever oils and all of this stuff. Never even thought that they would be in the presence. Pretty Woman, A Night with the King. It's the whole bunch. Exactly. And sometimes when you scared because you've always lived a certain way, it scares you to live without the stress. It scares you to live when you ain't trying to figure it out all the time. But that's what happens when you allow a person to take care of you. You sometimes don't know what's going on because they didn't. You don't have to know. They didn't figure it out. If you have a spouse and they say, baby, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it. And they always do. You look on Tuesday and you don't see no bags in the bag dispenser. You say, "Ooh, I gotta get some trash bags." And then on Thursday when you come back, it's already trash bags there because you knew you had two left, so you was gonna go on the way home from work. But when you get there and just so happened you didn't have a chance to go, your husband already replenished it. What do? Immediately, the stress of I have to do it tomorrow goes away. And now you can just focus on the minute that you're in, yes or no. Something so simple. Yeah. But in order for it to let somebody, okay, anybody in the medical field in here? Anybody in the medical field? Your patient is at your mercy, are they not? Especially a bedridden person. They have to trust you to wipe them, feed them, clean them, give them the right medicine because they can't do it for themselves. They have to trust. Total surrender. That's the same way if somebody say, I'm bringing you on vacation with me and you don't got to worry about nothing. All your expenses are going to be paid for. You will trust your friend, but you won't trust God to do it. You trust your homegirl at work to talk to the boss, but you don't trust God to give him a dream in the middle of the night. You trust your mama gonna come when she say she do, but you doubt God. Hello. I need y'all, if you have one, to write down one problem. Don't write it here. If you got a pen and paper, write down one issue that you feel like you haven't been able to fix. And put a date on it for today. You hear me? Whatever problem or issue that has been on your mind up until today, it could be marriage, it could be whatever else it is, finances, whatever. Whatever it is, write it down. Y'all know how we do, time and date. Not here on your paper or in your phone. Make a note wherever you can, if you can. Excuse me. And if you thought about how you'd like to be pampered in this 6 months, and you might not ever feel like you've been, let them start with that issue today. Because a pampered person means somebody else is already taking care of everything for you. You get that, right? 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 If you're going to be pampered, that means that someone else is controlling the process. Okay. So if you got more than one you need to write down that. If you only got one, that's fine too. But there you go. Write that down and let that be the issue that he gonna massage out your life today. right. Y'all got it down? Y'all got it down? Something moving. Huh? Y'all got y'all stressor down so God can start to massage it out your life? You got it? Now, for men and women, on the top of that paper, guess what I want you to write? Thank you for my spa days. Thank you, God, for you pampering me. That's not saying life is going to be super easy, but you can pamper a person in more than one way. And God knows how to pamper you. He knows how to make you feel special. He knows how to make you feel not overwhelmed. He knows how to make you feel valuable and wanted. He knows how to do that. He knows how. So tell him thank you for your spa day. And it might not even be a physical spa day. It might be a mental spa day. Relieving your stress. Relieving all of the issues that got you worried and let you just live in the moment. Did you write it down? You got it? Because believe that he wants to relieve your stress. He wants to pamper you. He wants to take care of you. He don't want you to be stressed out. And if you've never experienced true love, he won't give it to you. But how will you even know if a person truly loves you if you've never even understand the love of God? A lot of us, I'm going to put my hand up too. We weren't taught the sacrifice of love. We told that God sacrificed his life because he loved us, but we were not taught the sacrifice of love. So you know what we did? We connected with people that we loved and we sacrificed for, but we didn't understand that when a person loves you, they'll sacrifice something that they want or appreciate so that you can have what you need. Some of us have sacrificed our bodies. We've sacrificed our happiness. We have sacrificed financially. We've sacrificed all of these things for people that didn't even understand the sacrifice of our love, right or wrong. Crazy thing is, God said, anything that you sacrificing for me, anything you getting rid of for me, I'm going to give you better. You can't beat me loving you. So whatever you give me, I'm just going to give it back multiplied. God wants to relieve your stress. He wants you to feel special. He wants you to feel love. He wants you to feel what real love feels like. And once you experience that real love, you be like, I don't want that fake stuff. No, I'll pass. This is sometimey love. I don't do sometimey love. No, I don't want that. You can keep that. You said you only gonna give it to me when you feel like it. Oh, okay. Or when you feel I'm worthy of it. Oh yeah, no, I don't want that. God give you for real unconditional love and not that other stuff. It's not always going to feel bubbly, but it ain't going to feel like that other stuff. I promise you. If you've ever been in a situation that you are not in anymore, it can be a friend or an intimate relationship. Have you ever missed the person, but when you interact with them, you don't leave with a good feeling? And you can't figure out why you keep interacting with a person that when you leave them, you feel worse than you did when you was around them, when you wasn't around them. Like you feel good, you be in their presence, right? You interact with this person, and then when you leave, one, you didn't get what you thought you was going to get, and two, you walked away with more of a burden. It's the opposite with God. It is the opposite. When you interact with God, you feel better. When you interact with him, you leave with more than what you came with, but it is not weighing you down. It's lifting you up. You might be riding on the back of something. You ain't even got to carry the weight. Or you could still be walking, but he got something to carry it for you. God is a burden lifter. And in a sense, what this king did for those women, he lifted their burdens so that they could be available to him. This is why God don't want us weighing down with all of the cares of the world and stuff that happened 10 years ago. Because if you're still thinking about 10 years ago, you're not available for him today. If you still mulling over what happened, not trying to grow from, but you are still living in the moment of when they hurt you. And me and my son just talked about this last night. I promise we did. And I told him, I said, if I have to talk about my life because I have to teach, right? The things that I've been through, because it's young women and young men going through it now. Marriage, different things like that. I have to talk about it. But I'm still not living in the pain from 20 years ago. I'm still not living in the pain. This is bad to say, but I didn't say it to y'all. I told my son, I said, I don't even remember what your stepfather face looked like. If I don't look at a picture of him, I cannot remember his face. I was married to this man for 5 years. It's the longest relationship I ever had. I said, I know that this is bad, but I'm telling you right now, if I don't look at a picture, I can't even remember that nigga face. He said, Mom. He said, I will never forget it. I said, interesting. How? Because God moved all the pain. Sometimes if you can still see a person's face, that means that pain's still there. I said sometimes. Sometimes if you can recall every single thing and everything about them, it's because that thing hasn't been healed yet. If it's still in the forefront and vivid in your mind, it hasn't been cataloged. But a person that love you, they gonna make you try to forget whoever you was with before them, right or wrong. Right or wrong. To those of you that didn't get married as virgins, did you date anybody before your spouse? Did you date, to those of you that did not, did you date somebody other than your husband or wife before you got married? And it ain't even nothing that they trying to do on purpose. They just don't want, they love you. But the love that your spouse will give you will make you forget all of the hurt that somebody else did to you, right or wrong. They'll love you so good you don't even want to think about that. You don't even want to see them. I mean, not that you don't like them or nothing, but they ain't in the forefront of your mind every day. You can have a bad friend, a deceitful friend, a backstabbing so-called friend, and then get with somebody and they are better to you than the person you knew forever. You can confide in them. They don't repeat your business. They're a better friend to you than the one you had at first. Your other friend used to bring drama. This person helps you get rid of it. Your first friend taught you to be a crash out. This person is teaching you how not to. This friend encouraged you to do stuff that was going to cause your body pain. This friend be trying to tell you, we ain't even going over there. When a person loves you, they don't want to force you. They are not going to ask you to go against your principles. And they definitely not going to ask you to do nothing that's going to crash your life out or cause you shame. Hello? Do you see in any of that he added a weight to her? Or any of the women? Even the woman that was giving him problems. He didn't try to embarrass her. Did he? The woman that was his wife, his queen, he didn't even want to embarrass her. He was trying to find out a way to get around her discretion. Do y'all realize that's what God do with us? The enemy is always trying to tell everybody your business. God is saying, I'm going to sweep it under the rug. I just don't want you to do it no more. I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to not look at it. I just don't want you to keep doing it. Don't keep embarrassing me. When I call you, you need to come because you don't know what I want. I was trying to show you off so I could tell people how your life has changed, but you wouldn't even get up and come. I was trying to show them the beauty that I gave you for your ashes, for everything in your life burning down. But I wanted to show them the new things I grew, how I changed your face from sadness to happiness, how I changed your attitude, how I changed the way that you speak to people. I want them to see what I made you into, and you won't even come. Yes, I did this for me, but I did this for you too. Do you hear? It is for his glory, but you get to share in it. He was the king, but he wanted people to honor his better half. Well, if any of you have ever been a backslider, God said he's married to you, did he not? That means when he called you, you didn't come either. But it wasn't just one time, it wasn't just 2 times, it wasn't just 3 times that he called, but he still wanted people to see you. He still wanted people to know that he claimed you as his. Didn't matter who was around. And even though he saw you acting a fool, he still claimed you as his. Even though you was acting in ways that would embarrass him and make him not look like the king that he is, he still called you his. He didn't have to. He could have disowned you. He could have did like this king did at the very end and put you away and put somebody else in your place. Because after a while, he quit calling for her. She had had the best of the best. He didn't even want to get rid of her. But he had to. Because she was going to teach the other women something that he couldn't have in his kingdom. Da-da-da. Do you have ears? And if you do you use them? Moving on. So, now that we know that God impressed all of the craziness out you, all the impurities and stuff, anybody feel like you've been getting pressed on for the last 3 years? Anybody feel like you've been through a purification process since you've been over here? Y'all said I be chopping you out when y'all throat and stepping on y'all toes. Y'all didn't know. I was just getting the toxins out. I had to put my elbow in your back sometime. You know, when they giving you and they got to get the knots out, they got to use the elbow or that forearm to go up. You know what I mean? So you felt some pressure on some spots that hurt a little bit, that's been tight and about to snap. But God rubbed it on out, didn't he? I've been pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Come on. Moving on. So, good job. I need y'all to go up here to page 359 at the top. And we gon' start at number 4 on page 359, reading about Haman. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Everybody ready? Okay. Here we go. All right. It says, sometime after this, 2 eunuchs, Bigthan and Teresh, plotted against the king, and Barnabas, I don't know. We're going to call him Barney. The servant of one of the eunuchs, being by birth a Jew, was acquainted with their conspiracy and discovered it to the queen's uncle. And Mordecai, by means of Esther, made the conspirators known to the king. This troubled the king, but he discovered the truth and hanged the eunuchs upon a cross, while at that time he gave no reward to Mordecai, who had been the occasion of his preservation. He only bade the scribe to set down his name in the records and bade him to stay in the palace as an intimate friend of the king. Now there was one Haman, the son of Ammedatha, by birth an Amalekite, that used to go into the king, and the foreigners and Persians worshipped him, as Artaxerxes had commanded that such honor should be paid to him. But Mordecai was so wise and so observant of his own country's laws that he would not worship the man. And when Haman observed this, he inquired whence he came. And when he understood that he was a Jew, he had indignation at him, and said within himself that whereas the Persians, who were free men, worshipped him, this man, who was no better than a slave, does not vouchsafe to do so. And when he desired to punish Mordecai, he thought it too small a thing to request of the king that he alone might be punished. He rather determined to abolish the whole nation. you're not the king, but you're somebody that the king calls his Elon Musk. And so once the king gave you the power that you had, because somebody would not honor you as closest to the king, you said it ain't enough for me to get rid of one of y'all, the person that offended me and made me feel like I was nothing. I'm going to get rid of everybody. Would you call that hatred? Huh? Does this sound familiar? Are we not living this just what we just read right now? We live in this. There was a person right under the leader who is calling all the shots and getting rid of people. Okay. He want to be reverenced as the king. Okay. I just want to know. All right. He said he rather determined to abolish the whole nation, for he was naturally an enemy to the Jews, because the nation of the Amalekites, of which he was, had been destroyed by them. Can I ask you a question? Do you think that Elon Musk is a natural enemy to black folks and colored people? Do you think he is an enemy to people that really worship God? You know who do a lot of praying? Spanish people. You know who do a lot of praying? Black folks. You know who be all up in their religion a whole bunch and a lot? I ain't saying white folks don't. But most times when you go into a person of color's house, no matter if they Haitian, Japanese, whatever, they're going to have their religious beliefs right there in front of you. You will know exactly what it is. Muslim, whatever. And I'm not saying that white people don't. I'm not saying that. But when you go in people of color's house, no matter what you see, they gonna have something on the door. They gonna have something on the mat. You're gonna know. Can I ask you a question? Will you know if you in a Nazi house? Will you know if you in a person's house that believes in the Confederate laws? If you walk in their house, you gonna see something. So automatically, we know that a leader in our White House right now feels exactly like Haman did. Right? You said as soon as you hit the driveway. Okay. He didn't say all the Jews that disrespected me. He said, I'm going to get rid of everybody that's a Jew, period. Hold on. Now, we got to go right here. He said he'd rather determine to abolish the whole nation, for he was naturally an enemy to the Jews, because the nation of the Amalekites, of which he was, had been destroyed by them. What's being taken away from Spanish and African American people right now? They're saying now, if you teach Black history, we are going to strip your funding. If you are harboring illegal aliens, or excuse me, illegal immigrants, it's going to be a problem for you, right or wrong. And it's only because these two groups of people are getting the reverence that white males feel they are owed, is it not? The power that white men used to have, they don't have it anymore. The reverence that white men had, they don't get it anymore. This is what woke is. Black people are the trendsetters. Everybody knows Spanish folks gonna work real hard. They can do this and do that. So the reverence that the white men used to have, and the fear of people that white men, they don't got it. They're not viewed as the highest of the high. They're not viewed as the best. They're not viewed as the most educated. They're not viewed as the most important person in the room. Haman had the same attitude as the leaders that we have in power today. You reading it with your own eyes. You said that's where money in the system comes in. Here we go. This one. Watch this. You said the money in the system. Let's get to it. Right on time, Nisi Poo. Okay. Here we go. It says, accordingly, he came to the king and accused them. Sounds familiar. They're too woke. There is a certain wicked nation, woke nation, and it is dispersed over all the inhabitable earth that was under his domination, or I'm sorry, dominion. And a nation set, oh, wait a minute. Oh. There is a certain wicked nation, and it is dispersed over all the habitable earth. Who is that? My grandma loved watching Little League Baseball, but she would talk so hateful about the little Japanese kids because of Pearl Harbor. Wow, I tell her, Grandma, they just kids. You hear me? Who is they talking about right there that's dispersed all over the earth and viewed as the worst? Black folks. It don't matter where you go. You a criminal even if you're not. You're suspicious just sitting and walking or sitting down reading a book. You're suspicious if you're bird watching. You're suspicious if you're walking on the sidewalk. You're suspicious if you're doing your job in your whole uniform. No? You suspicious if you just sitting on a plane. Are you not? Hello? Just driving in your car trying to get to work. Picking up your kids. You suspicious. They say you doing something suspicious. You ain't bothering nobody. You ain't worried about nobody. You just minding your business. The Jews was minding their business. The Israelites was minding their business. You suspicious in your own home, on your own couch, in your own yard. Come on. In your own backyard. In your own neighborhood, you suspicious. Okay, here we go. I just want to see if y'all see what I see. All right. It says a nation separate from others, unsociable. When you're black, you're never really alone. Right, moving on. Neither admitting the same sort of divine worship that others do, nor using laws like to the laws of others. And at enmity with thy people and with all men, both in their manners and practices. Now, if thou wilt be a benefactor to thy subjects, thou wilt give order to destroy them utterly, and not leave the least remains of them, nor preserve any of them, either for slaves or for captives. What's being erased from history right now? It's been being erased. But what are they focusing on erasing from history right now? How many of us thought that not trying to be funny, a white man invented the light bulb up until you came here? How many of us were told that, wasn't it Thomas Edison or whatever his name is that did the light bulb? That's what I was taught in school, exactly. Even though we've been able to do the history and find out that in 4 BC they had light bulbs. Maccabees. Thank you. Maccabees and Maccabees. Y'all remember that? Who remembers if you go look up Maccabees, it shows you white folks. If you go look up the Maccabean brothers, it shows you somebody that looks like an Ethiopian priest. Y'all remember this one of my first lessons I did on TikTok. There is a certain group of people that people wish they could erase every single one of them off of the planet because they understand that they were the originals. I was raised with the white man, that the white man stole everything from us. I didn't understand until I came here. Interesting. it shouldn't be a surprise that Putin found Black Jesus and Black Mary. The same picture that's in Ethiopia in the churches that they found from centuries ago. The same picture that was in a vault in Russia from wherever is the same picture that's on the Ethiopian Bible. It's the exact same pictures. All the way from Russia to Ethiopia? Interesting. Laugh out loud when I saw that. I said, you're late to the game, pal. Come on. Okay. So there's a history that people have been trying to get rid of all of them off the earth, a certain group of folks, period. And it's still happening to this day, is it not? God said we would walk away from him and start to worship other gods. Well, that's the truth as well. He said we was going to be scattered all over the earth and despised in all the earth, no matter where we went, and it's the truth. Interesting. Here we go. But that the king might not be damnified by the loss of the tributes which the Jews paid him. He said, don't worry about their money. Oh, that's happening now too. Don't worry about the Spanish people. The gazillion dollars they contribute to you. You ain't gonna miss it. Interesting. Haman promised to give out of his own estate 40,000 talents whensoever he pleased. Please tell me how much a talent is worth. We already did this. Some of y'all got this written down. How much does a talent weigh? Like 600 pounds. Something like that. How much does a talent weigh? I'm about to show y'all something. 66 pounds, 9 ounces. A talent of gold? I said 600. 66, excuse me. A talent of gold is 66 pounds. Why I feel like it? What measurement did we do that was 600? Okay, so 66. All right. So 66 pounds. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry, I added a number. 40,000 talents. So how much is 40,000 talents worth right now in gold? How much is 66 pounds of gold worth? And then times 44,000? $40,000. So 66 times 40,000. And then how much does 66 pounds of gold weigh? And how much is it worth? And then times 40,000 times that. I was thinking of 666 talents that he gave, that Bathsheba gave Solomon. That's what it was. It's $2,640,000. 2,640,000. So he said, don't worry about the little taxes that the Israelites, the Jews, is giving you. I'll give you 2 million. I was getting ready to say 982 because it's the weight in gold. Almost a bill. Is that almost $1 billion? 66. How much is the 66 pounds of gold worth? Are you saying that 66 pounds of gold is worth $2.6 million? 66 pounds of gold is worth $24,000 times 44, or 40,000 is what? So 24, 5. Right. Right. That's why I said, how much is 66 pounds of gold worth, and then times 40,000? Because he got 40,000 talents. So it is at almost $1 billion? Interesting. That's 982 million. So it's almost $1 billion, right? Am I reading these numbers right? Is that almost $1 billion? It's 18. Okay. So he said, don't worry about it. The tributes, I'll give you $1 billion. So the billionaires was running around at that time trying to get rid of the slaves and the poor people that wasn't even worried about them. It was a billionaire that wanted the lower people to worship him like he was a king or a god. Okay? You hear me? Does this sound familiar? Does it? Billionaires exchanging money, all the while trying to get rid of the poor people. All because they won't reverence them as kings. Sound familiar? How did Donald Trump get into office? Who's telling him to get rid of the Spanish people and stop all the black history and the money to the poor? Who's telling him to do that? So the second in command is telling old boy, don't worry about it. Whatever you lose from getting rid of them, I'll give you some money. Whatever you're going to lose with getting rid of the migrants, the immigrants, I'll give you that money plus some. Sound familiar? Did y'all say that Elon Musk, they said Elon Musk is on track to be the first trillionaire? By the end of Trump's, what's the name? Vance is not the second in command. Donald Trump is really the second in command, but we gonna let him have that. He's only the vice president in title. We don't even see this nigga ever. He's never around. Okay. Exactly. Like I said. Moving on. Here we go. Okay, I just want y'all to see something. All right. So it says, Haman promised to give him out of his own estate 40,000, so basically $1 billion, okay, whensoever he pleased. And he said he would pay this money very willingly, that the kingdom might be freed from such a misfortune. So Elon Musk is paying Trump to get rid of the immigrants because he don't care for them. And he wants an all-white society, does he not? Haman wanted a world without Jews in it. And he had the money to persuade the king. But because the king trusted him as his friend, and because he was also rich, he went ahead and let him do what he was going to do. You mean like Donald Trump is doing with Elon Musk? The same thing is happening. The same thing that was happening in the days of Esther is happening right now. We on page 359, Pumpkin. Isn't that interesting? Billionaires always wanted to control life. The rich folks always worried about the poor people, and the poor people ain't worried about what they doing. We live rent free in their head. Y'all realize that? The Jews was living rent free in Haman's head because they wouldn't reverence him because he was a billionaire. They didn't reverence him because everybody else was acting like a Trumper and, worshiping the billionaires, worshiping the rich. All of the other people of the world were worshiping the rich, but the Jews would not do it. Interesting. So the billionaire says to the president, the king, get rid of these people because I don't like them. Get rid of them. And I'll give you money if you get rid of them. Interesting. All right. When Haman had made this petition, the king both forgave him the money and granted him the men to do what he would with them. So Haman, having gained what he had desired, sent out immediately a decree as from the king. to all the nations, the contents whereof were these. Where do we see that happening? Trump signed the executive orders, but who is they from? Elon Musk's will is going out in the name of Trump, is it not? First day in office, immediately. Have we seen this playbook before? The same playbook play we seeing right now, has it been here before? Okay. I'm just want to see if y'all see what I see. It says, Artaxerxes the king, to the rulers of the 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. You know how many people was there? Sends this writing, whereas I have governed many nations and obtained the dominions of all the habitable earth according to my desire, and have not been obliged to do anything that is insolent or cruel to my subjects by my such power, but have showed myself mild and gentle by taking care of their peace and good order, and have sought how they might enjoy those blessings for all time to come. This sounds familiar. And whereas I have been kindly informed by Haman, who, on account of his prudence and justice, is the first in my esteem and in dignity, and only second to myself for his fidelity and constant goodwill to me, that there is an ill-natured nation intermixed with all mankind, that is averse to our laws and not subject to kings, and of a different conduct of life from others, that hated the monarchy, and of a disposition that is pernicious to our affairs. Ain't this everything Elon been saying? It's some people, and because of them, our nation is not great. They're mixed all in here, and we need to get rid of them. I've been good to you guys. We're gonna live. Once we get them out of here, we are gonna live in prosperity, and everything is gonna go back to the way it should be. Now, this is the billionaire speaking as the king. You mean like Elon Musk is speaking like he's President Trump? And all of the decrees that have been signed, the executive orders, are really Elon Musk. So billionaires have been controlling people of leadership for a long time, is what you're telling me. The old people used to say, money talk and BS walk. Moving on. Here we go. All right. I just wanted to see if y'all see what I saw. All right. It says, I give order. Here we go. There's this executive order there. I give order that these men of whom Haman, our second father, hath informed us, be destroyed with their wives and children, and that none of them be spared, and that none prefer pity to them before obedience to this decree. Does this sound familiar to you? And this I will be, and this I will be, I will to be executed. I'm sorry. And this I will to be executed on the 14th day of the 12th month of this present year. That so when all that have enmity to us are destroyed, and this in one day, we may be allowed to lead the rest of our lives in peace hereafter. Can you tell me what the 12th month of the Hebrew calendar is? And what month that is in our calendar? Whatever spirit was in Haman is the same that's in Elon. You said it. What's the 12th month in the Hebrew calendar? Adar. What is our month of Adar? What's the first month? Okay, hold on. February, March. It's February, March because the first month is March, April. It's February, March. Depending on how the calendar go, it's February, March because March, April is the first month. March, April is the first month. Sometime in March, sometime in April is the first month. However they calendar go. So February, the end of February or February to like a certain time in March would be the 12th month, right? Right? Hello? Hello? Until March the 12th. Exactly. Okay. So on February 14th, what's today? Today's February what? So on today, however many thousands of years ago, all of the Jews in the Persian from India to Ethiopia was supposed to be killed today. This day. The Valentine's Massacre is what it was supposed to be. Today. Interesting. He said on the 14th, we're going to get rid of all of them. Here we go. He said, and this I will to be executed on the 14th day of the 12th month of this present year, that so when all that have enmity to us are destroyed, and this in one day, we may be allowed to lead the rest of our lives in peace hereafter. Now when this decree was brought to the cities and to the country, all were ready for the destruction and entire abolishment of the Jews against the day before mentioned. And they were very hasty about it at Shushan in particular. Accordingly, the king and Haman spent their time in feasting together with good cheer and wine, but the city was in disorder. Is this not what happened as soon as Donald Trump put the dang decree out to start? Folks, him and Elon Musk was eating and partying because he had just got into office, while everybody that had immigrant family members was stressing out. And people start being real mean to the Jews. Because the decree went out, we get to get rid of y'all. You only got a few more days. ICE is coming, and they're going to get rid of you. All the while, the king and Haman was sitting somewhere partying and eating good. Was they not? Down in Mar-a-Lago. No? Hello? Do you see it? So while the United States is in an uproar, are we wrong for wanting them to go back to their homes? Just asking. Who? Spanish people? Or are you talking about these people? Who are you talking about, girl? India? She might be at a different place in class. Okay. So can I ask y'all a question? Just like Miss Danielle Nicole said, is it not happening now? Are we literally living through what we are reading right now? What's crazy is that it's even happening in the months, right? Leading up to this. Is it? No, it's not bad. No. I mean, you're supposed to be nice to the immigrants, but it was times when you had to purge people out of your camp that wasn't good. So there's that. When Miriam got to cut up, she had to go sit outside the camp for a minute because she got too big for her britches. You remember his sister? She got the leprosy all on her because she was stirring up trouble in the camp. I mean, sometimes things happen. We was good to him. That's how he got rich over here. But now he done came over here and he trying to get rid of people that's supposed to be here and he ain't. So remember, Haman was an Amalekite. He wasn't a Persian. So you in the Persian's face, who is from here, telling him who don't need to be here. It is the exact same story. Even though Trump lineage ain't from here, he from here. But you got an Amalekite who really mad at niggas and people of color, because where he used to be, them people used to be running their fades. This is why they had to live behind barbed wire in apartheid Africa, right? The only reason Haman didn't like the Israelites is because the Israelites went through there and they was running their fades. So this is deep-seated hatred from even before his time. So the people that went, the Germans that went over to Africa in the 40s and the 30s and the 20s in the late 1800s, right? This is a lot of people Elon is coming through. He's only South African by birth, not by lineage. His people were immigrants in Africa, were they not? So the deep-seated hatred that he has for people of color comes from a long time ago. So did Haman's. He said, I remember what y'all did to my family members. You don't think that there was white folks that was chopped up by, like, this is why they had to get gated communities. Or it wouldn't have been no more of them left. And have the nerve to get right of birthright citizenship. Exactly. So the same spirit that was running in Haman is running in Elon Musk right now. How are there more citizens than the people whose country it is? It makes no sense. Exactly. And they own more of a country that they not even from. We gonna move on. Here we go. It's about what happens when they show up on your continent. You just got to have, man. Moving on. All right. We just gonna keep going. All right. All right. It said, but the city was in disorder. So Elon Musk and old boy down there playing, and then our whole world was in. Okay, we see it. Now when Mordecai was informed of what was done, he rent his clothes and put on sackcloth and sprinkled ashes upon his head and went about the city crying out that a nation that had been injurious to no man, minding our own business, was to be destroyed. And he went on saying thus, as far as to the king's palace. And there he stood, for it was not lawful for him to go into it in that habit. The same thing was done by all Jews that were in several cities, wherein this decree was published, with lamentation and mourning on account of the calamities denounced against them. But as soon as certain persons had told the queen that Mordecai stood before the court in a mourning habit, she was disturbed at this report and sent out such as should change his garments. But when he could not be induced to put off his sackcloth, because the sad occasion that forced him to put in was not yet ceased, she called the eunuch Xerxes, for he was then present, and sent him to Mordecai in order to know of him what sad accident had befallen him, for which he was in mourning, and would not put off the habit he had put on at her desire. Then did Mordecai inform the eunuch of the occasion of his mourning, and of the decree which was sent by the king into all the country, and of the promise of money whereby Haman brought the destruction of their nation. What? The promise of money was going to bring about the destruction of their nation. Tell me how much richer your president has become since he started running with Elon Musk. How much was Trump's net worth in 2021 and how much is it now? Mm-hmm. 6.8 billion today. Interesting. He was a millionaire before. He wasn't a billionaire. 6.8 billion today. How much was he worth in 2021 or 2020? Thank you, Auntie. Mm-hmm. From Forbes 1224, Trump's net worth is rose 3.6 billion this year. So from January 1 until now, he made $3.6 billion by letting, he was 93 million in 2020. Interesting. So he was a millionaire in 2020 and now he's a billionaire in 2025. That's what you're telling me? Interesting. He got a lot of that money from the coin. Interesting. Who do you think bought it? I mean, you need a legal way to hide the money that you were given for buying the presidency. That would be an easy way to disguise it. I mean, they're disguising armored trucks as drinks and sandwiches. Are they not? So, it ain't like they ain't got the money to get them. Excuse me. You remember when you used to go somewhere with a with a friend that don't got no money, and so you give your mama tell you don't wait till y'all get up there to pay. You give them the money so don't nobody know you had to give them the money. Y'all know that? Or you might have had a broke boyfriend or something and you wanted to make people feel like he was paying for you, so you just let him take the money so he could pay for y'all. So it make it seem like it's his money, but really it's your money. Anybody know anything about that? You said yes. Anybody know anything about that? Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Same thing is happening here. Same thing is happening. So just understand this, right? Y'all know the story of Esther. She went in there, she threw herself on the ground and said, listen, you about to unalive my people. And I love them. And if you love me, you won't hurt the people I love. We're going to paraphrase, right? But she was willing to sacrifice. Technically, the state of New York said he lied about his wealth, and that's why there were some that were persecuting him. So published accounts. I watched the documentaries on that man a long time ago, Auntie. I feel like he just got rich right now. Because if he would have had to pay out all the lawsuits and stuff, he didn't file, like, I feel like he just got rich right now. You know how they had the people in the old movies where they living off their parents' money, but they really broke? So they're living off the status, so people don't ask them to pay for things, and they just get invited on trips because of who they used to be. That's the vibe Trump gives me up until now, when he really got some money. He was only rich on paper. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I've been saying that because when he was doing The Apprentice and stuff like that, my dad used to talk about Trump and tell me different things, and we had conversations about it. And he was like, he really don't have no money. And so then we talked about things like that, about, him being them type of people. Joe worked in Atlantic City, and he refused to work in any of his hotels. Right. That's what I'm saying. I didn't heard he just got rich. This probably the richest he ever been in his life. Well, we know it is. Real money. And that's why he acting like that. But do you see his net worth isn't saying nothing about the temple coin that they've been selling since 2018? This is my thing. Fake it till you make it. Exactly. And that's what he did. But do you see, though, that billionaires have been pushing leaders forever? We also know the sacrifice of love, because one of the things that happened was she was willing to be unalived for the whole nation. We know this because we all done read or seen One Night with the King. But she was willing to put herself in a position to be unalived and to give up her life where she was a princess and was waited on by servants. She was willing to give all that up for her people. Tesla rich. That's why Elon's son feels so comfortable telling him to shut the F up. I'm trying to tell you this, Auntie, because baby, how the backhanded that boy so quick and snatched him. Moving on. The death look I would have gave him, baby, would have made him cower behind his daddy. You understand me? To tell me to I'd have grabbed his lips on national TV and twisted him. Say what? You can't do that. I'll grab your daddy lips too. If he can keep them down, hell, all the damn ketamine he on. That's why he can't have talk. I bet you ain't none of them nannies black. If they is, his ain't. If any of them nannies or them Musk kids is black, that one's his ain't black for sure. You ain't gonna tell, or Spanish, hell. I don't think so. Cause Spanish women, Indian, they none of them, they ain't going for that. I'm trying to tell you, I'd hit him in the back of his knee so he'd have went down and grabbed him by his hair to catch him. Who you playing with? Accidentally walked behind him and hit him in his knee. He gonna fall with that boy, and then I'm gonna grab him. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Come here. You don't do that. I had to catch him. I couldn't grab him by his jacket. I had to grab him by his hair. You was going down. I just wanted to make sure y'all was all right. He wasn't going to be able to stop himself from falling because he got that alien on the inside of his body and he real heavy. You know, when you eat people, it start to do something to your torso. So, you know, he started to, I wouldn't be surprised if he be looking like the witch from Game of Thrones when he take off that ball cap and stuff. CERCA. I mean, Sarah. I'm trying to tell you. I was catching a baby. We couldn't let him fall on his face. The only thing I could grab was his hair. And that daddy probably can't get up once he lay down because that alien is taking over that space. I don't know how much an alien weigh. How much do the brain weigh, y'all think? Can anybody call Raphael or Michelangelo or Donatello or one of those guys and ask him? I mean, they've held him in his hands. He slimes away, but the brain that he got on the front of there is, he ain't gonna be able to get up. You said I need help off this floor. I'm trying to tell you. Sarah, could you imagine? Mm-hmm. I don't know how much aliens weigh when you allow them to ride around in your body, but it looks pretty heavy to me. I never really carried one, but none of us might not ever know. You know? But when another entity takes over your body, it makes you deformed. The human brain weighs 3 pounds. Right. No. But not the human brain, the alien one that was in his stomach on the Ninja Turtle movie he played in 20 years ago. 30 years ago. Yeah. That one. Not the human one, Auntie, the alien from the Turtles. I wonder how much he weighed. That's the one. See, the human brain, bet, but not. You said 3 plus 20 is 23 pounds off balance weight. Okay, so we'll say that's about right. That look about, because he gonna have to have some fluid. The brain had to be like in a fluid, like jar thing, didn't he? He had to be in some kind of liquid in order to breathe and stuff. Turtles, yeah. He sound like JFK Jr. You turtles, you metal the turtles. Like, oh, hell no. So he can jump in and out of bodies. So sometimes he in JFK and sometimes he in Eli. Got it. Dang. It's like a ventriloquist thing. Because he had different bodies. He had more bodies than one. He had a couple suits. So he speaks through JFK, but he just lives in Elon. Got it. I thought, okay, all right, I understand now. Give me a second, y'all. I couldn't figure it out at first, but now I know what's going on. Okay. So it's a ventriloquist thing. Got it. right, y'all. I'm probably about to go for a minute. I'll be back to talk to y'all. But I just wanted y'all to see two things. Crag, yeah. That's exactly who he is. He's both of them together. He's both of them together. They're the same person. Cause if you think about how JFK or whatever his name, RFK, whatever, Robert Kennedy Jr., whatever the boy's name is, he sounds just like Crane or whatever his name is, but Elon is carrying the part of him. If you look at his body, but the voice is coming out of RFK Jr. or JFK, whatever his name is, he got the same voice. Yeah, I don't know who I'm talking about. I said JFK, whatever the man's name is. Whatever his name, JFK Jr., RFK Jr., whoever he is, he sounds just like that thing. But Elon is carrying the body. He carrying him, but he's speaking through old boy. Moving on. Yeah. So with that, I just want y'all to know, one, none of this stuff is new. Two, billionaires have been controlling people forever. The powerful people. They've always been against God's people. The rich people have always been against God's people unless God turned their heart. I don't say much, but this right here, listen. I'm just saying, it's y'all can't unhear it now. Y'all can't unhear that now. That's all you go. Every time you see that RFK, JFK, whatever his name is, you gonna think about Crane, whatever his name is, because he sounds just troublesome turtles. Like he sounds just like him, but when you look at him and Elon standing together, you know that the brain is on the inside of Elon in that stomach. Protruding out. We just don't ever like trying to tell you. Alright? It's the truth. Look at them. Listen to them. But what I wanted to say is this. We all know the story of Esther. And we all know that Haman went on, and the king asked him, he said, what do you think I should do for someone that I appreciate? And he gave him this whole big thing of what he should do, because he thought that the king was gonna give him this praise and this worship. And then he got all the way humbled, Kendrick Lamar, because the king said, okay, good. So I need you to go and take my cloak and my staff and all of that and put Haman on the back of a horse and ride him through the city. We all know the story. And then he went back to his homeboys and his wife, and he was like, I cannot believe that I had to ride. Because his whole plan was to go to the king early that day. And when he showed up early at work that day to try to get in the king's ear about what he should do about the people, God had already taken the sleep of Artaxerxes. Who remembers me praying that God interrupt their sleep? Y'all remember me praying this a couple weeks ago? I asked God, y'all don't think when all the Hebrew Israelites or the Israelites was getting together and they was fasting and praying, that God changed that man's mind, give him a dream so that he could change his heart? God allowed Artaxerxes to not be able to sleep. So he told his lawyers, go get some papers and just come in here and read to me all of the decrees of what happened with the kings prior to now, and mine, what's been happened. Just go get my journals, go get all the journals of the kings and just read them to me because I can't sleep. And just so happened, the one that he grabbed reminded him that Mordecai saved his life. He said, why have I not done nothing for this man that saved my life and saved my kingdom? You think that that was a coincidence? That of all the scrolls in the king's library that old boy could have grabbed, it was the one with Haman, with Mordecai and what he did for him on there. You think it was a coincidence that God took Artaxerxes asleep, and then the just so happened, he said, go get some scrolls and read them to me, old kings and mine. And while he was up in the middle of the night, having his scribe read to him all the things that have happened in the journals, we'll say, he just so happened to bring up Mordecai the night before Haman was about to go in there and tell him the person he wanted to kill. The main person he wanted to kill. Haman had already set up the gallows for this man at his house. He put it in the square because he planned to put fear into the Israelites, into the Hebrews. He wanted the Hebrews or the Israelites to feel the pain that he felt like the Amalekites felt when the Hebrews rolled down on them, pulled up on them. It was a deep-rooted hatred for people that had, those people that were alive at that time didn't do nothing to him. They just didn't reverence him because he was a billionaire. They didn't worship rich people. But the hole you dig for somebody else, you'll fall in it. Because before Haman could go speak to Artaxerxes about Mordecai, guess who did? Who did? Haman thought he was going to get up early and spit a bug in his ear. Hey, Rika. Haman thought he was going to get up early and spit a bug in his ear. God spit one first. And then had the wife throw a dinner with only them three. He thought he was getting a special pleasure. No, she was just getting you comfortable. The first night was cool. The second night was cool. That third night, she said, baby, I want to talk to you about something. He said, baby, what's wrong? You've been, the last 3 days, we didn't have these dinners. What's going on? Tell me. He said, I don't already tell you. I'm going to give you whatever you want, up to half my kingdom. Tell me what you want. She said, it's bothering me, babe. And I don't even know how to talk to you about it. Haman nervous. Hey, Haman nervous. You hear me? Because he know what he's planning. He said, well, what's wrong? She said, somebody want to hurt my family. He said, who? She turned right to Haman and said, Haman started sweating bullets. And you know what happened after that? Look at this, real quick. We're just going to go right here real quick. I'm just going to read this. It says, hereupon his wife Zeresh advised him. So Haman's wife advised him to give order that a gallows should be made 50 cubits high, and that in the morning he should ask it of the king that Mordecai might be hanged on it. So Zeresh, which was Haman's wife, said, just put it up there so he could be hung, and go on and ask the king. He'll do it. So he commended her advice and gave order to his servants to prepare the gallows and to place it in the court for the punishment of Mordecai their own, which was accordingly prepared. Here we go. But God laughed to scorn the wicked expectations of Haman. So God chuckled to himself, basically saying, Haman, you don't even know you signing yourself up, okay? And as he knew what the event would be, he was delighted at it. For that night he took away the king's sleep. And as the king was not willing to lose the time of his lying awake, but to spend it in something that might be of advantage to his kingdom, he commanded the scribe to bring the chronicles of the former king. So we know that, right? Now look. We got that. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, we over here. We at 11 on page 362. Excuse me. It says, now while these men were thus talking to one another, Esther's eunuch hastened Haman away to come to supper. So Esther said, hurry up and invite Haman to supper. But one of the eunuchs named Sabuchatus, I believe that's his name, saw the gallows that was fixed in Haman's house and inquired of one of his servants for what purpose they had prepared it. So he knew that it was for the queen's uncle, because Haman was about to petition the king that he might be punished. But at present he held his peace. Now when the king with Haman were at the banquet, he desired the queen to tell him what gifts she desired to obtain, and assured her that she should have whatsoever she had mind to. She then lamented the danger her people were in, and said that she and her nation were given up to be destroyed, and that she on that account made this her petition, that she would not have troubled him if he had only given order that they should be sold into bitter servitude. For such a misfortune would not have been intolerable, but she desired that they might be delivered from their destruction. And when the king inquired of her who was the author of this misery to them, she then openly accused Haman and convicted him that he had been the wicked instrument of this, and had formed this plot against them. When the king was hereupon in disorder, and was hastily gone out of the banquet into the gardens, Haman began to intercede with Esther, and to beseech her to forgive him as to what he had offended, for he perceived that he was in a very bad case. And as he had fallen upon the queen's bed, and was making supplications to her, the king came in. And being still more provoked at what he saw, O thou wretch, he said, the vilest of mankind, dost thou aim to force my wife? And when Haman was astonished at this, and not able to speak one word more, Sabuchatus, the eunuch, came in and accused Haman, and he said, he found a gallows at his house prepared for Mordecai, for that thy servant told him so much upon his inquiry, when he was sent to him to call him to supper. He said further that the gallows were 50 cubits high, which, when the king heard, he determined that Haman should be punished after no other manner than that which had been devised by him against Mordecai. So he gave order immediately that he should be hung upon these gallows and be put to death after that manner. So the same person that wanted the Jews to beg for their life ended up begging for his. And who did he end up begging? Not the king, but the queen. He knew Mordecai was her uncle. What he did in secret, God exposed it in the open, did he not? What he devised in secret, he was done to him openly, was it not? The secret conversations he had with his wife and his friends that he didn't think nobody knew about, God knew. And before he could spit a seed in the king's ear, God did. Be careful of the things that you want to see happen to other people, because they will happen to you. Be careful of the conversations that you have in secret, because they will be exposed openly, out in the open. When you speak, to speak negative things into other people's lives, you only speaking them into your own. Not only that, God can move the heart of your boss, your mother-in-law, your husband, your child, and you don't even have to be there. All you gotta do is humble yourself in front of the Almighty God. He gonna do the rest. You don't have to worry about how it's gonna play out. All you have to do is have faith that he gonna do it. You hear me? You hear me? She didn't know what was gonna happen, but she believed that she trusted God. He was gonna do it for her. And the same punishment on the same day that he has set out for somebody else, he had to endure it. The same fear and worry that the rich men and the billionaires of this time, the same pain that they want other people to feel, do y'all realize they gonna have to feel it for a longer time? It was a billionaire who influenced the king to unalive. He gave him the power to do whatever he wanted in the king's name. Elon Musk is doing whatever he wants to do in the name of Donald Trump. And it is only because he gave him billions and billions of dollars. But God is still in the protecting business. Elon Musk and the 1%, they want us to die, do they not? They want us to suffer, do they not? While they eat good and party and live in the best houses and the best neighborhoods, they don't want us to have nothing, anything. They want us to live in a constant state of distress while they live an easy life. And God said, ooh, not so. And even if it is on this plane, you won't on the next. Was Haman being kind to the immigrants? They were in a country that wasn't their own, the Jews. Were they not? They were in Babylon. They were in Persia. Persia was not native to the Jews, was it not? They were immigrants. He was trying to get rid of all the immigrants from India to Ethiopia. Here's India. And here's Ethiopia. But he owned all of this. Do you see that? So could you imagine anybody between here and here, if you was a Hebrew or a Jew, he wanted you to die? Do you know how many people could have been in all of these countries? Do you realize how many people was probably living in here? It wasn't just in Persia. It wasn't just in Babylon. He said the people from India to Ethiopia and everybody in between there, all the Jews, to all 127 or 128 provinces and cities. So anything that they owned between here and here, if you was a Jew, you was going to die on February 14th. The men, women, and children. All because one person didn't bow to him and reverence him as a king or as the second in command. Do you hear how crazy that is? And the people was in an uproar because the Persians and the other people that wasn't Israelites and Jews was like, yeah, buddy. You just wait till the 14th. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your son, your daughter, and your mother, and your grandmother. You mean like how people are telling people, oh, you just wait, I'll call ICE on you. Wait till ICE shows up at your family's house. Let's see if who's laughing now. Because a decree didn't went out to get rid of them all from one end to the other. So people started treating the Israelites different because they knew that their time was almost up. Oh, okay. Okay. It's the same thing. The same spirit that was running through the billionaires in these days of Xerxes is running through our billionaires now. You said when they say history repeats itself, Keish. And at the same time, which is so crazy. The executive order came out for the immigrants to leave almost during the same exact time of year. Because he said by the 14th of February, I want all the immigrants gone. This is what Haman said. Well, it was before the 14th of now that they started rounding up the immigrants, was it not? The decree had to go out before. He said, because in this year, well, March start their new year. He said, so in the new year, I don't want to see nobody that's an Israelite or a Jew. When was our decree made that he didn't want to see no more immigrants? As soon as it became the what? Spanish people weren't really tripping until he really signed the decree, which was in our new what? It was the first month of our new year. Tell me that the spirit that was running in Haman is not in Elon Musk right now. And Trump is acting a lot like Xerxes and just letting him have his way because he got $1 billion. And they good friends. Yeah. Yeah. Basically 3 weeks. I'm just saying. This the thing, y'all. This is why I be trying to tell y'all, if you read, you will see the spirit in the people. Because ain't nothing new under the sun. And right now, there are some people that's fighting for the immigrants. And they are putting themselves in the way between ICE and the immigrants. Is it not? Do y'all realize that's what Esther did? She had proxy to the king. She could actually talk to the president. And she went to God first to have God change the president's heart. God stirred up the spirit of the president by not letting him sleep. And so all of the other decrees that other presidents had wrote and whatever else, he went looking. And just so happened, he fell on Mordecai's journal entry that night. Haman was coming to talk to him about Mordecai in the morning. God said, I already talked to him last night about Mordecai. And what you want for yourself, I'm going to give it all to Mordecai. Ain't that crazy? The reverence that Haman was ready to kill a whole bunch of innocent people over, he never even got it. Mordecai got it that next morning, and then what he set up for Mordecai, he got for himself. And God was tickled because Haman really thought he was about to get away with it. It said God laughed at the wicked things that Haman was about to do. Didn't he? He set his own self up. Now look at how God twisted that. He had the king ask Haman, what do you think I should do for a person that I love that's very close to me, and that he thought he was talking about him. So he told him all these wonderful things that he should do, thinking that he was going to get that reverence. And it went to Mordecai. And what he wanted for Mordecai, he got for himself. Be careful. You hear me? Because guess what? The sacrifice of love Do y'all realize that the only reason Haman was gone is because he loved his wife more than he loved his homeboy? He trusted his wife more than he trusted his homeboy. Uh-oh. So that's not a bros over hoes moment. You said what? You said what? Because guess who Haman would have been going after next? He was the closest person to the king. So who you think the reverence that he wanted and the power that he wanted, who you think he was going to be going after next? Because I'm sure the king thought, if you will go after my white family, you will go after mine. Because she is my family. This is the mother of my children. This man that you're trying to kill is possibly going to be my children's only living relative. Because her parents was dead. So if you would do that to my wife sitting in my face, what you would do to me? You don't think it was going to hurt me when you was planning to kill my wife and all of her family? Extended friends and everybody from her nation? So if you would do that to her while sitting in my face telling you you love me, but you're willing to cause my wife some pain, what you would do to me? And not only that, you already prepared it like you just knew I was going to say yes. He had already prepared everything because he just knew in his heart that his homeboy wasn't going to tell him no until that woman got involved. You can't do for her what he do for her, sir. For him. You can't do for him what she do for him. That's a different type of love. Homeboy love. Well, now they didn't change that, but moving on. You hear me? Yeah. You know what's crazy? Haman listened to his wife, and Artaxerxes listened to his. Haman's wife is the reason they put the hangman thing up there, the gallows. She the one told him to do it. She the one told him to go and ask the king. Okay? So it was women behind both of these men. And they both were powerful men. They both listened to their wives. But one of them didn't get the outcome he thought he was going to get. And while she was worried about folks not having they family members, Haman's wife, she ended up without her husband. And no father for her children. You said, yep, what type of wife do you have? Perspective and character. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Again, what you wish on other people, you going to get it for yourself. So, right. Haman died because he wanted to be exalted. You get that? You get that? Haman died because he wanted to be exalted. Mordecai lived because he humbled himself. Thank you. You pick that up? Esther was supposed to die when she went into the king's presence unannounced. Okay? She fell down. She humbled herself in front of the king, and she humbled herself in front of God. So she lived and her family members lived. But the people that wanted to be exalted and wanted to be praised lost their lives and lost their livelihood. Because she knew that she was going to be sitting on side of her husband when they killed the Jews and when they got rid of the unmentionables. She knew. She liked the prestige and the clout that she got being Haman's wife, and he was right next to the king. But you don't never trump the queen, huh? Your husband is second in command, not first. Interesting. I'm going to leave y'all. I'm going to go. I love y'all. Happy Love Day. See y'all later. I love y'all. Want better for other people than you want for yourself, and better will show up for you. You hear me? I love y'all.